All right, welcome everyone. My name is Julian Kiriak, and I am teaching people how to onboard onto a tech career, whether you have a technical background or not, in the absolutely great Salesforce ecosystem, which is about to create 11.3 million jobs by 2028. Today we're going to be tackling the top 10 or the most asked questions about the transition from your current job to a Salesforce tech job. And by tech, I mean, it could be business analysts, it could be quality assurance, it could be project managers, there's a lot of roles that you can fill, so there's nothing to, really be concerned about. However, these are part of the answers that we're gonna and the questions and concerns that we're gonna be tackling. So let's go. I'm gonna be looking at, in no particular order, the sort of most asked top 10. All right. So the first one that we have is relevance of past experience. Will your past experience be relevant in the Salesforce ecosystem? And the answer is absolutely. So I've had the absolute pleasure to help to train and to transition people from various different backgrounds. So I've had ex-military people that are now Salesforce developers, and they're on their way to be technical leads on the Salesforce platform. I've worked with former tourist agents that started as a developer and then went to be a project manager, and actually now are leading their own Salesforce practice. Now the list goes on with bank workers that are great technical analysts, the pharmaceutical assistants that are now e-commerce ninjas in the Salesforce ecosystem and on the Salesforce platform on their e-commerce vertical. I've worked with teachers that are right now marketing cloud gurus, and they do an absolutely amazing job. I've worked with a DJ that is now a Salesforce developer, started as a business analyst, but now wanted to transition more into the technical side and become a Salesforce developer by choice. So all of these roles that they had before actually did impact quite a bit their Salesforce career in various ways. I mean, the soft skills are among one of the top missed skills or ignored skills by a lot of people. They think that if they go into tech, they're going to actually require to have more technical knowledge. But I've always said, once you acquire the basis, then basically the 50%, the 60, 70% of your growth will be soft skills, how you communicate to clients, to your team, to pretty much everyone, and how you can, dissect what the client needs, to understand what the client needs or the partner, and then figure it out with the team, and then, so communicate with the team, and then relay that same message back to the client in a proper way so that they understand it. So all of these soft skills, all of this organization, all of this sort of structure, like for example, the structure from the military helped Alex, one of the developers that I worked with, now a developer ex-military, to be absolutely great at how his career progresses just because of that structure that he had from the military. People that were in tourist and pharmaceuticals, their soft skills are absolutely magnificent. So, and they caught up with the technical skills after that. I mean, everything is relevant. The teachers are absolutely great. I've seen them do their technical side, and I've seen them do trainings after that, and I've seen them onboard clients with their, training capabilities, which was absolutely awesome. So yes, definitely yes, all the previous job skills are going to come very much in handy, and I think those skills are transferable. You have to learn just the basics for the platform, so it's going to be fine. Okay, so question number 2, learning curve and difficulty. So is it difficult to learn Salesforce, especially for someone without a technical background? I think I basically covered that in the previous example. We've had a lot of people that we've helped that didn't have any technical background at all. I mean, obviously there are the ones that do have technical background. They graduated from technical courses and computer science and things like that. But probably, if not more than half of the people that I've worked with actually come from tourism, pharmaceutical, administration, teachers, ex-military, all of that. So, and they're doing great. Their drive is absolutely awesome. As long as you have that drive and you have that commitment, things are going to go your way. Now, okay, so sorry, I'm just reading my notes. Okay, let's go to the third one. So job placement and opportunities. Will I be able to find a job after completing the training? Yes. The job market is absolutely big and will be exponentially growing. As I did mention, I believe at the beginning of this video, Salesforce will actually be having a 11.3 million new jobs increase in the ecosystem by 2028. So in the next 5 years, all of the job market, the request for Salesforce, the demand for Salesforce professionals is going to be absolutely great. So it is already big now. It was big a few years ago when I started training, when I saw the potential and I started training people to help them onboard into the Salesforce ecosystem so that they can get, you know, a satisfying job and financial security. Just to give you another example, I was talking to some colleagues that were not on Salesforce a few years back, and they were saying that they were trying to find a job and they couldn't really. And I was surprised because I was getting from recruiters and companies, I was getting like 2-3 job offers a week. So the demand is huge and it's only going to grow from here. So that should answer that question. Return on investment. Is the investment in the training program worth it in terms of career advancement and salary increase? Yes. A lot of the people that I worked with, they start with their current salary as an entry position within the Salesforce ecosystem. So they start with their current salary, if not more, as an entry, and usually doubles over 1 or 2 year period. Disclaimer, it all comes at, you know, how much time do you want to invest in it? How much do you want to put in the time to actually become more and more professional at it? Because the more, you know, knowledge you have, the more experience you have, the more you put in the time to actually learn, the more valuable you become as a professional. So the salary increases exponentially, okay? Next one is certifications and credibility, meaning how important are Salesforce certifications and how can you achieve them? I had my first certificate 4 years in, so I literally worked for 4 years without getting any certificate, but that was back in 2014, something along those lines. And I didn't feel like I needed it because I already had a very cool job and I was working and I was constantly learning. I should have, now in retrospect, that's what I'm actually helping people do. I should have had a plan. I should have had it better planned. So I'm going to try and help you learn from my mistakes, where you're going to have some sort of a schedule where you can properly prepare for the upcoming certifications. You're going to try to identify a proper sort of career path. In which direction do you want to go? Which vertical? Do you want to go more into marketing, into sales, into service, manufacturing, government, health, education? You know, there's a lot of certifications around those. I mean, obviously there's the base that you would need, but yeah, it is important to have them. They're not necessarily mandatory. However, if you do want to grow faster, I would suggest considering a proper career path and to stick to that plan in order to do those certifications. Okay, what do we have next here? Flexibility and work-life balance. How flexible are Salesforce jobs and what is the typical work-life balance? Let's set some realistic expectations. You will be starting a new career, and even though you can do 40 hours a week and you're going to get, a good entry-level salary, which is probably the same or bigger from your current salary, you will want to progress faster, or at least I did. So, and a lot of the people that I work with, they actually they want to get that financial stability now, and they do want to get that flexibility. So you are working in tech, in IT, or consulting businesses, you can actually do it from anywhere. You can do it anytime. There are client meetings, right? Again, realistic expectations that you will have to attend. So, if you're front-facing, if you're a project manager or a business analyst, if you are a developer, that will be less of that. depending on the role or quality assurance. However, there's a lot of flexibility on time and location, and obviously, we already talked about the financial stability. So the work-life balance is your choice. I would suggest, in order for you to get a bigger work-life balance, you might have to put in a little bit of extra work at the beginning, and then things are going to fall into place. All right. Age and industry transition. Is it too late to switch careers or transition into the tech industry, especially if I am older? No, it's never too late. I've worked with people that are in their 50s, in their 60s. They became project managers. They did quality assurance. They did the technical analysis, business analysis. Some of them tried at coding. They just didn't like it. But again, it really depends on your skill set, on your drive, what you want to do. So no, it's never too late. You can always transition, and your previous experiences, if you have something, like I said, the soft skills will always transition. But if you have something, like for example, you're a teacher maybe, and you have the capabilities to train and to understand and to relay back information, those are absolute golden skills that you can use as part of let's say a business analyst or a project manager on the Salesforce ecosystem. Okay. All right. Ongoing support and community. So what kind of support is available after completing the program, and is there a community for ongoing networking? So I think we're mixing here a little bit. So there is a training program that we also help with. This isn't necessarily about that. You can learn by yourself. You can join the Facebook group. You can be with us so that we can give you direction. There's a lot of information, so you don't want to just be overwhelmed with that, but you can do that yourself. That's not a problem. There's a lot of resources online. It's just that not a lot of people know about them, so we'll guide you for the sort of the free resources. If you're just like Alex, ex-military, and you're very well self-organized, then you're going to do very well with those. For people that really want to progress faster, we do have more interactive guides and workshops and one-on-ones and things like that to kind of get you up and running faster. But the community itself from Salesforce, it's one of their mottos. So they have the Ohana motto, which means the entire community comes together, partners, competitors, everyone comes together, and they try to help each other. And that's a magnificent part of the Salesforce community. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. I was very pleasantly surprised because I came from, let's call it a more corporate technology and approach and consultancy, and a lot of people, even within the same company, were really just kind of digging each other up. It was fairly toxic, I want to say, but the entire Salesforce ecosystem, there are some exceptions like everywhere, but in the majority, like 98% of everyone is just very, very helpful. They just want to help. They give you advice. They take time to go to forums to answer your questions, to help you solve a problem. So it doesn't matter. I've literally had the experience of talking when I was a beginner as developer / admin. I was having issues. I was writing on the forums, and I would have like technical architects, really people with experience for 15 years, just answer my questions. It was surprising, and it was awesome. And I even got on a few calls because they had the time. So, imagine that. That's absolutely outstanding. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So technology advancements and job security. How do I ensure, or how do you ensure, right, that your skills remain relevant with evolving Salesforce technologies? So here you have a few options. I usually split it into two, right? So you can either become a sort of broad spectrum consultant where you know how to do the base, a lot of the verticals at a high level, and you can consult how to do what's called a multi-cloud implementation, right? So you work with a company that needs sales, so you know how to implement Sales Cloud, or consult them on implementing Sales Cloud, or Service Cloud, and then they need marketing, so you do Marketing Cloud. And obviously maybe they sell products or memberships or something online, so they need an e-commerce component. So you know how all of this works together and how it integrates. So I call that a multi-cloud broad spectrum consultant. So you can do that, right? That way, the technology advances, so you have to know them, but the technology advances very much on the low level, and there are the high level tips and bits that you can get on the high level so you can still remain a multi-cloud consultant. Over the years, it happens. Everyone can, you got to keep up, but there's a lot of people that do it. And then there's the other side where you can get really, really deep down and focused. For example, one person that I worked with became the go-to person for commerce, so Commerce Cloud on the Salesforce platform. And they really, really specialized on that, and that's what they're known for, and everyone, really needs specialists. So if you were to break down a project, you always need like a technical architect, and then a consultant that is a multi-cloud consultant, and then you need people within each vertical or when that project is being implemented, so that you can do both and you can keep up with both, right? So you have enough time depending on which direction you want to choose and go for. And the next question would be transition period and financial stability. So how long will it take to transition into a Salesforce career, and what about financial stability during this period? It really depends on how fast do you want to onboard into the Salesforce ecosystem and career. So probably, and this is an example I have, but I'm trying to avoid it at times, is because it might be too fast, right? So I've had somebody that found out about Salesforce, and 3 weeks later, literally 3 weeks later, they had a developer job, okay? That happens super fast. That is not your usual outcome. I would say on average, with proper commitment, you're looking between a month and a half to 2 months and a half or 3 months, if you're putting in the time, right? So I've had people that transition to a Salesforce career within 8 months, but that's because they were doing their full-time job, kids, mortgage, family. It takes a bit more time. They were very, very stressed at their current position, but they still found the time to do it in evenings and weekends, and they continued, they committed to it, and now they're super happy. They have flexibility. They spend time with their kids a lot more. Speaking to kind of the previous question about sort of work-life balance. So that happened, but they took the time. So it depends on how much you want to commit. If you are willing to, do more than the 5-10 hour a week, if you can do, let's say, 20-30 hours, if you find time on the weekend, if maybe you're, not currently employed, and you have a little bit of a safety net, hopefully, but the financial stability, so let me put it another way, you can onboard really quick if you go through the training really fast, and we've done it within 3 to 4 weeks, and you get a very competitive salary, and people are actually reaching out to you. So you have companies, you have recruiters. As soon as you put there that you are Salesforce, you're onboarding into Salesforce, it's not going to be swarming your inbox, but it will start already. Even if you don't have any certifications, even if you just started, you're gonna see how people are reaching out to you. And then we do different things when it comes to preparing you for interviews and giving you the knowledge and guiding you, so you don't go through all of the monumental amount of information that you have for Salesforce to learn. We actually tell you, how do you start? Start with this 5 modules out of 1,000, right? So you wanna make sure that you're focused on that, and you use your time the best you can to onboard as fast as you can, so you can get that job that maybe if you don't have one and you're, let's say, in a hurry to get one, then you can actually get that job, get a little bit of less stress, and then continue at a more normal pace with the financial security. If you already have a job, then doing it on the side, in the evenings, in the weekend, it's been done. And we've had people in a month transition from their previous job to a Salesforce job, including having an interview. So that also happened, right? Again, reminder, there's a huge demand coming. So this skill set, this job is very much in demand and will be even more in demand. And there were questions about what happens if I don't like Salesforce, right? So there's a lot of domains that you have. You have marketing, you have manufacturing, you learn a lot of businesses. Every project is not just a simple project you implement. You actually learn the business, so you get to learn a lot of things every time along the way. And all of these things over time, you will see that those are skills that are absolutely magnificent and you can actually transfer them. So if you ever decide to leave the Salesforce ecosystem, you will have so much knowledge, it's going to be unbelievable, and you will always be able to just transition to any other domain if you really want to, including business domains, right? So you can be a teacher and then you transition to be a Salesforce, maybe project manager, business analyst, or even developer. It doesn't matter on what vertical, what you're doing. And then you learn so much about how to implement education cloud and government cloud, and maybe how to work with banks and how to do finance and mortgage and kind of streamline their processes. And then all of a sudden you're saying, well, you know what, maybe I'm not a big fan of the Salesforce platform. I've never really heard that. But let's say that happens and you want to go into implementing a different technology, or you even want to go and sort of work more corporate, maybe in a big consultancy or a bank. You can do that because you already know how that domain works. You've been implementing projects in that domain. You know the terminology, you know everything about it. Well, not everything, but a lot about it, or enough to actually go and get the job that you might want at that point. So, all right, I hope this helps. We are here to assist you with your journey. We are setting out certain resources. You're gonna find a lot of them we have 3 really places that you can go to. We're just setting up the Facebook group, which is called Mechanics Academy. And I'll probably put some links somewhere in around this video. We have the newsletter that we're doing for professionals that want to grow, not necessarily just on Salesforce, but overall, if you want to grow professionally, get the financial stability that you're looking for, the work-life balance, and time back with your loved ones and family. We do have a newsletter that talks about different aspects and different facets of how you can become better at that. It's yuliankiriak.com/newsletter. Again, the link will probably be somewhere. And then if you are a person that decided, we're probably going to be doing webinars as well. But if you want to move really, really quick, you don't want to waste the time, then we do have programs and courses that handhold you literally in our Slack channels and in our one-on-ones and our Q&A sessions and our helping you sort of prepare for the interviews. I've interviewed hundreds of people in this domain, so I know how that works. Yeah, you can find out more. You can inquire about it, and then we'll talk about it. So thank you very much. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, then let us know. We'll be more than glad to answer. And if you need help with anything, we're here to help you as well. Thank you. See you in the next one.